Hey, Northbrook parents, I just wanted to have a quick conversation with you about some of the content that'll be coming up in the sermons. I'm just going to read a couple verses to you out of Ephesians 4, verse 19 says, "They have become callous and have given themselves up to sensuality, greedy to practice every kind of impurity." And then in a few weeks, we'll be in Ephesians 5. And Ephesians 5, verse 3 says, "But sexual immorality and all impurity or covetousness must not even be named among you, as is proper among the saints." And so we're going to be talking about that as a church. And I just wanted to prepare you as you think about your kids. I think about our kids, often they're in with us in the service. We actually really don't put pressure on them either way. Just sometimes they'll go to Northbrook Kids, sometimes they'll be in service. And even then, that's been pretty consistent for many years now. And so at times, when we were at the Paradox, Jim would say something and they'd be in service, and I'd be like, "Oh, okay, that's interesting. Let's see how they hear that, what they think about that." We've handled it different throughout the years. When there's times, just to be honest with you, I would be reading the Bible to them, and I would skip over portions that of content that we just hadn't talked to them about yet. That I don't think would be helpful. And I think that's a fine thing to do based on, what age our kids are at. And so, if Jim mentioned something we hadn't really talked to them about yet, most of the time after service, we would just ask them, just normal questions that we'd often ask them. But hey, what did you think of the service? Did Pastor Jim say anything that you were curious about or anything that confused you? And that was just an opportunity, because if that stuck with them, then that would be an opportunity our kids would say something. And often they just wouldn't, because they didn't, kids, they didn't hardly hear half of what's said. Or if they did, then we could talk about that. And me and Ginger love this example from Corrie ten Boom's, it's in her book, A Hiding Place. I think where this story is, where she was asking her dad about sex. And her dad actually used this metaphor. He was like, well, they were going somewhere. He's like, "Hey, can you carry my briefcase down the street for me as we go to this place?" And she's like, "Well, no, I can't do that. It's way too heavy for me." And he was like, "You know what? That's right." And so also this topic right now is too heavy for you right now. So let me carry it for you until you're ready to carry it. And just as a parent, I want you to be free to do that. You don't have to explain everything to your kids. Just be mindful of, there are unhealthy extremes, obviously, of never talking to your kids about things or talking to them about too much too early. Those are extremes that can be unhelpful. And then there's a large spectrum of health there in regards to talking to our kids about these things. And so, and as parents, I get the pressure of, man, how am I doing that right? How do I know I'm not unhealthy or healthy? And that's what community is for. That's what we're here for, to pray for you, to talk with you, to help walk with you. And that way, me and Ginger just try to do it as best we can. Some ways we've surely done it helpful, some ways we've not. It's just how it goes. But just wanted you to be prepared as we have some of these conversations as a church. So, I'll say from in the sermon, things like sexual immorality, same-sex attraction, pornography, sexual brokenness. I will talk about those kinds of things. I don't plan on being any more explicit than that. So you don't have to be worried about that, but those kinds of things will be said. So I just wanted you to prepare you for that, and for you to be mindful of your kids and however you want to navigate that with them. If you have any questions, just let me know. I'd love to walk through that with you.